I know it's hard, I know it's complicated, but I promised you I've been waiting here forever. I had a much to say, but you're not hear me. No, we're invincible, like fire in the snow. Trust me when I say you are my beautiful world, and I'm feeling it all. We should make an effort. It's true you're so far away, and it's true you don't feel the same. But if you take my hand, we can try and go back. Start it from scratch. I won't let you go. No, I can't let you go. 'Cause you're my gravity, and I will never leave. I won't let you go. No, baby, I will not. Because I still believe. You're my gravity. You will never be what I expected. Different frequencies, that's why we ain't connected. You know I will make it through. I got nothing to lose but you. It's true you're so far away, and it's true I can feel the same. It's another day, you know you want me to stay, but I go my way. I won't let you go. No, I can't let you go. 'Cause you're my gravity, and I will never leave. I won't let you go. No, baby, I will not. Because I still believe. You're my gravity. You're my gravity. You're calling on my name, but the echo numbs your pain. Sorry, but more than just a shadow, I'm more than just a man. You don't care how I feel, you don't know how I feel. No, you don't know how. I wash away the sorrow till my heart can beat again. You're my gravity. No, you're my gravity. I will let you go. The only thing that I know, you were my gravity, but now I have to leave. I will let you go. What do you think that I want? What do you think that I want? I know how to breathe into my gravity. 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 I know it's hard, I know it's complicated, but I promised you I've been waiting here forever. I had a much to say, but you're not hear me. No, we're invincible, like fire in the snow. Trust me when I say you are my beautiful world, and I'm feeling it all. We should make an effort. It's true you're so far away, and it's true you don't feel the same. But if you take my hand, we can try and go back. Start it from scratch. I won't let you go. No, I can't let you go. 'Cause you're my gravity, and I will never leave. I won't let you go. No, baby, I will not.
Warning: the Duracell Cup Series data file you have attempted to access is out of date. Uploading current file now.
It's a brand new car from stem to stern, and it's never been raced at these speeds.
The next gen car is opportunity.
Everything is different with the exception of like the seat, the steering wheel, and your helmet.
Unknown creates excitement.
Talking about my generation.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome here as we get set for race number 14 of the second season of NNSCRA Duracell Ultra Lite Series. 13 races in the books, 12 different drivers have already gone to victory lane, making things very interesting in the battle, especially for the wild card positions, and it will be something we will be very intensely following as we get closer and closer towards the end of this regular season. There are only 7 races left in this regular season, including here tonight, so time is running out. Best way to ensure that you're going to be in the playoffs, get into that top 7 in points, lock yourself in that way, and some drivers are en route to do just that. A lot of other drivers are right on the border of that cut line, whether they're just above, just below, or on that cut line coming into this evening. This should be an interesting one. It's the first time the Duracell Ultra Light Series drivers have ever taken to Iowa Speedway, and they are preparing for 75 laps here under the lights. On the pole position for this one, if you didn't tune in a couple of yesterday afternoon to the knockout qualifying session, the pole day qualifying session, man, oh man, I'll tell you what, you talk about a buzzer beater, that was Roberto Crown Jr. When we checked in on him, I think there was about 5 minutes left in the session. He was sitting next to last on the speed charts. He then improved up into the top 20 and then laid down a lap time with less than 30 seconds left in the session to get the pole position. Why is that important? Well, for one thing, Roberto Crown Jr. is looking for his second win on the season, but more importantly than that, there are 15 bonus points that are paid out to the winner of the regular season championship. And Roberto Crown Jr. was able to close in on Cam Wright Jr.'s points lead last week at Hillside, whittled it down to 2 points coming into this week's race. With Roberto Crown Jr. starting on the pole and Cam Wright Jr. starting shotgun on the field, as soon as the green flag drops, live point standings will have the 18 in position number 1. Why is it also important? Well, I feel that when we come to a track like Iowa Speedway, especially based off of the only prior race that we've run here, and that was last season's race from the Duracell Cup Series side, track position is going to be very, very important. It is extremely unlikely, though it is not out of the realm of possibility, that pit road will come into play in some way, shape, or form, whether it be for tires or whether it be for fuel. However, the pace is going to be back down quite a bit here in this week's both the races, on the Lights and the Cup Series side, and so there is the opportunity, if fuel is a concern, to be able to save whatever you may be lacking to make it the entire 75 laps. If we have cautions, that's going to make it even easier. Track position is important. Passing is going to be difficult. There's going to be a couple of reasons why, which we will explain during the course of this race. So, for the drivers that start up front here, I think they've got a good shot of maybe even finishing up at the front, maintaining their starting track position. Daniel Voiles, we're going to see him tomorrow running for Cup Series points, but he's full-time down here in the Light Series as well. Not running for points, not running for the championship, just gaining experience for Sunday. He gets the outside of the front row for this one in that World NOS Racing entry. Daniel making his 5th start on the season and looking for what would be his 2nd both top 5 and top 10 here in Lite's competition. Row 2 is going to find another regular season driver and a Cup Series interloper. David Dixon lines up on the inside of the second row. David Dixon, a former winner this season, going back to Phoenix, and he is 5th in points coming into this one, 43 points out of the points lead. Maybe more importantly, he is 7 points ahead of that 7th in the standings cut line, which actually has a tie for that 7th in the standings cut line area, so we'll talk about that in a minute. But he's alongside of Eric Sadler. Eric in the all-star car out of Bishop Family Racing. Eric is getting ready to make his second start on the season. His first start, he finished it in the top 5. So a lot of speed when Eric gets behind the wheel of that T-Mobile Dark Horse Mustang. All right, let's go down trackside. Let's get those famous words of motorsports because we're ready to go racing. We'll talk about the playoff situation and everything in just a moment. Here is the command to fire up engines here this evening from Iowa.
Drivers, start your engines.
Right side of your screen, you'll see your 29 driver starting lineup as the Chevrolet Camaro pace car will lead them off of pit lane. Your playoff standings, should the regular season have come to a close at the conclusion of last week's race from Hillside, would look like this. Cam Ray Jr., points leader, 2 points in hand over the pole sitter Roberto Crown Jr. Jordan Anderson sits 37 points back in 3rd, 39 points back in 4th. Kyle Langley, we mentioned David Dixon, 43 points back in 5th. Aubrey Powell gained 4 spots in standings last week to move up to 6th. And Jackson Haywood, Eli Bright are tied for 7th. They are 50 points back each from the points leader, so right now a tie for the final points-paying playoff position. We'll get to the wild card drivers here in just a moment, but 75 laps await us here, and we are ready to go lights racing from Iowa. David Dixon with a look on Roberto Crown Jr. through 3 and 4, and he will complete the pass. Starting from 3rd, goes to the lead, and he will lead the completion of lap number 1. Dixon, a multi-time winner last season, looking for his second win on the season here in Season 2. Roberto Crown Jr. tucks to 2nd. Now he looks to go back to the lead. Cole Coybe behind him in the 38. And RCJ not going to be able to get the run he's looking for here off of turn 4. High side momentum goes to David Dixon. He'll hold on to the top spot for the time being. Looks like Bryce Egan, Cup Series regular, slots into the 3rd spot, driving that all-star number 11 machine out of Trackhouse Racing. So your wild card drivers coming into this one currently look like this. They sit 9th, 10th, and 11th in the overall point standings. That would be last week's winner Colin Grace, Skylar Taylor, and Juan Garcia. There are currently 6 drivers that are eligible to fight for the wild card spot via a victory. The other 3 that are on the outside looking in would include Cole Coybe, who is 17th in overall points, Dave Smith, who's right behind him, 18th in the overall standings, and Craig Batson, who currently sits 26th in points. Battle for 3rd place. Bryce Egan, who failed to qualify for the Cup race tomorrow, so he's making the lights start here tonight. Trying to hold off a battle for the 4th position. That is Eric Sadler looking low on Cole Coybe. Up front, 2nd place, Wes McCoy looking low on Roberto Crown Jr. They'll remain side by side back to the start-finish line. McCoy will complete the pass going into turn 1. Door was open. Bryce Egan will slip on by his Trackhouse Racing teammate as well. He'll move to third. Now Eric Sadler to the inside of Roberto Crown Jr. for fourth. Well, I thought that passing was going to be difficult here this evening. Apparently that is not the case. We're seeing quite a bit of passing, even right up here inside of the top 5, top 10. As here comes Sean Galligan. Roberto Crown Jr. trying to find his way back down to the inside line. Not a whole lot of grip up there on the top, especially on corner exit. Saw a number of drivers in both the Lights and the Cup Series qualifying sessions kind of overdrive turn 2, get your right side tires up out of the dark gray into the light gray, and have a lot of difficulty getting the car to turn on corner exit. So far, we've managed to keep everybody off the wall for the most part. There may have been a couple of drivers that have brushed the wall, but no massive impact so far in this one as they now start getting a little bit single-filed out here all the way through the field. Battle will be for third. Eric Sadler looking low. Bryce Egan ripping the top, and that might actually get him a shot for second place. Nope, he slipped. Right rear got outside of that grip line. Saw him get loose as he came off of turn 4, scrubbed off a lot of speed and brought Sadler right back alongside him for the third position, which he will complete the pass for, and now will use that momentum to look to the inside of Wes McCoy for second place. Sean Galligan will go side by side with Egan for fourth. And David Dixon did not have a good 3 and 4. That just brought everybody back to his back door. Look at this. Wes McCoy will power around the outside after Dixon really had to lift on entry, and Wes McCoy is going to go to the race lead. Last week, we ended up seeing Colin Grace pick up the victory at Hillside, becoming the third driver out of the Haas Racing Stables to go to victory lane. The last man to pick up a checkered flag for the organization is this 8 car. And could 1 week later, Wes McCoy complete the 4-driver sweep for the Haas Racing Lights organization, having all 4 drivers go to victory lane here in Season 2. And that power move around the top certainly shows there's a good race car underneath him as 3 wide. Maybe a little kiss to the wall there for Bryce Egan after he was put up top by Eric Sadler and Sean Galligan. Galligan wins out on that exchange, moving up to third. Galligan in the Mazda out of garage 55. Sean coming into this one 24th in points. I also actually failed to mention, I'm sorry, I said there were 3 other drivers that were outside the wild card picture with a win. There were actually 4. Michael Turner being another one. I missed his name on the standings, 23rd in points. Let's drop a little further back, see where Roberto Crown Jr. finally slotted in. Looks like he's in the 10th position. Trying to make a pass on Cole Koibe. Cody Majoric just up ahead in the 70. He started mid-pack, and he's been able to make his way now up to the 8th position. A couple of the Adrenaline Motorsports Chevrolets right here as well. The 15 of Dave Smith, the 41 of Brody Kupski, 7th and 9th last time by for those 2 drivers. So Roberto Crown Jr. has now fallen from the pole back to 9th. Cam Wright Jr. started out back in 29th position. Let's see what progress he's been able to make. Last time by, he was scored in 18th, so he's picked up 11 spots since the drop of the green. Biggest loser since we went under green flag racing would have to probably be Daniel Voiles. He is back here in the 22nd position right now, behind last week's winner, Colin Grace. Nathan Stapleton, who had a solid top 5 last week, is also mired back here outside of the top 15. Back up at the front. Looks like David Dixon has lost touch with the top 2. This is the battle for the lead, and maybe a little contact there. Is Galligan going to move Wes McCoy up out of the groove through 1 and 2? He'll get alongside of the Haas Toyota Supra, and he will not have the preferred line here through 3 and 4. Looks like it is the middle line through 3 and 4, inside line through 1 and 2. McCoy will hang on to the lead, at least for the time being. Let's take a look at the rear of the field, see about any stragglers, and there are a few of them. Craig Batson and Ralph Mason both back here. Quite a ways back from the nearest driver to them, which would be Skylar Taylor. Taylor all by his lonesome right now in the 27th position. We've talked about how this 29 car came out of the gate swinging, picked up that win in the season opener at Daytona, but the last 3-4 weeks they have struggled and they have free fallen through the point standings. Skylar's now down in a wild card position, no longer in the top 7 in points. Chris Dollerton, who had a great run last week as well at Hillside, he is at the tail end of the pack right now, at least of the full lead pack, in 26th place, along with Jordan Anderson. Anderson, we documented third in points, 37 points out of the points lead coming into this race. Has had a very consistent season, add in his victory at I-69 Speedway, another short track, but not doing so well here tonight in this one, as the battle for the lead is back on again. Matt Haas, Wes McCoy, thinking of the Cup Series. McCoy with a rear deck lid full of Sean Galligan. We'll see Matt Haas tomorrow when the Cup Series drivers here will take to Iowa Speedway for the third time rather, in Duracell Cup Series history. Defending winner James Qualls will be looking for his second win on the season. He'll be the only driver in the field as well that previously has a victory at this venue. The inaugural winner back in Season 6, no longer in the series. That would have been Mitchell Collins. Galligan trying to hook the bottom there, but I think the big problem is in order to be able to hook the bottom, you can't carry nearly as much speed through the center. He's also getting his left sides down close to that apron, so it might be getting the car a little bit loose. He's really able to generate good runs through 1 and 2, but he can't really do anything with it by the time they get down to 3 and 4. Let's take a listen to the inside the cockpit of the number 62 of Sean Galligan as he looks to try and get this pass done for the lead on Wes McCoy. Well, as these two are battling for the lead, I don't know if you saw the rearview mirror of Galligan, but look who is in third place now, Cody Majorek, and he is running lap times nearly 3 to 4/10 of a second faster than the top duo. He may be the fastest car on the racetrack right now. Majorek is going to very quickly be up here in the conversation for the race lead. Majorek 16th in points coming into this one, 3 top 5s on the season. Still looking for that first victory and looking to get Joanna Atwood Motorsports their second win on the season. We already documented about Jordan Anderson's victory back at I-69 Speedway. Wonder if maybe the setup they put in the 89 at that short track, they may have transferred over to the 70 here for this week's short track at Iowa. As next time by, when we cross the line, we will be a third of the way through this race. Fastest lap of the race so far would be Eric Sadler at a 28.818. He right now is in the 5th position. As Galligan has completed the pass around Wes McCoy. First time this evening that the 62 will be out in front, after McCoy led the last 15 circuits. Majorek continuing to try and close up. Scoring has him about 2.5 seconds behind the race leader. Battle for fourth. Eric Sadler looks low on David Dixon. Drove it deep. I think he's going to make that pass work. He will clear off of turn number 4. So one of the rare occasions where we see a driver stay pretty committed to the inside, able to keep the momentum going, and use the low line off the final corner to complete a pass. Eric Sadler, if I'm not mistaken, one of 3 drivers that's pulling double duty here this weekend, along with Daniel Voiles and Kyle Langland. Nope, also add Autumn Brooks into that list as well. Well, Galligan definitely had the faster car between himself and Wes McCoy. Just McCoy had the track position, because as soon as Galligan got around him, Galligan has set sail. Garage 55 migrating down here into the Lite Series, fielding 3 full-time cars as well as an all-star car that has been run on occasion with Nick Gunther, Anthony McCrory, Carson Gums taking a couple of turns behind the wheel also. So far, a 0 in the win column for the organization. Though Autumn Brooks sits 13th in points, Ralph Mason 15th in points, so there's been some consistency. Unfortunately for Ralph Mason, he's about to be the first car put 1 lap down by his teammate. And Galligan's going to make the pass easily on Ralph Mason, putting him off the lead lap. So it's not going to be a good points week for the 66. And Galligan's going to have to start dealing with some traffic here as well, as he's caught up now to Craig Batson by about 4 car lengths. Look how he closes that gap up there on corner exit. From 4 car lengths to 2 car lengths to 1 car length by the time they get over here to the entrance of turn 3. Now it's going to come down to who traverses the traffic better. Wes McCoy is just now making his way up to Ralph Mason. We'll see if Mason puts up any kind of a fight trying to defend for his teammate, or if he will move over and let the 8 car by. It doesn't really look like he's giving them much of a lane to be able to work with. Says, hey, if you're going to go up there and take the lead from my teammate, you're going to have to earn it. And this could potentially bring Cody Majorek into the conversation for 2nd place. Galligan not faring much better against Craig Batson. And Galligan right up on the back bumper. We saw when he was battling with Wes McCoy, Galligan's not afraid to use the bumper and move somebody out of the way, so he'll ride behind the 91 for a little bit, but now he shows the nose and says, all right, I'm there, let me by, which Batson will do. Battle is on for 2nd after McCoy and Majorek have put Ralph Mason in the rearview mirror, but Majorek is now on the back bumper of McCoy's Supra, and this might carry all the way over to when they eventually catch the Craig Batson machine. Wes McCoy way up the racetrack there through 3 and 4. That helped him on entry, might hurt him on exit. Here comes Majorek looking back to the inside. Not quite going to be able to get there, or is he? He'll drive it deep into 1. Almost got to the left rear quarter panel, but McCoy will slam the door at least for the moment. Galligan a little bit of space before he catches up to another Mazda. That would be Skylar Taylor's 29. That is not a teammate. Skylar Taylor out of the ST Racing stables. But a manufacturer alliance, I guess you could say right there. And then ahead of Skylar Taylor is Jordan Anderson, Daniel Voiles. So a bunch of traffic here that Galligan's going to have to deal with in the next couple of laps. Next week, these drivers get ready for a little bit more short track racing. They've been fed short tracks quite a bit here at this portion of the schedule. We had Hillside last week, Iowa tonight, Chicago Motor Speedway next week. There'll be a doubleheader with the Cup Series cars, and then the Lite Series drivers are off for 3 weeks. We won't see them again until we get to Kentucky Speedway. Cup Series will be running a couple of races in between that time. I believe they're running New Hampshire and the road course of Donkey Kong Speedway. So a little bit of a respite for these Lights drivers at the conclusion of next week's race at the Chicago Motor Speedway. Pole day qualifying for the Lights drivers, of course, will be on Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then their race will be on Saturday at the same time, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Galligan doing a great job getting through traffic, went around the outside of Skylar Taylor to the inside of Jordan Anderson. And now he will start to close in on our outside pole sitter. That'd be Daniel Voiles, who has lost a total of 23 spots since the drop of the green flag. Had a great car for qualifying, apparently not a great car for the long run. And Galligan's going to make very quick work of him. Has now lapped up to 25th place. Let's drop back to the second place battle. They are just now making their way around Craig Batson, so they've got 3-4 lap cars between them and the race leader. But continuing to battle for this spot, Majorek. Ooh, was there contact there? You could see the flames coming out of the tailpipes of the 70 as he lifted out of the throttle to avoid running the 8 over, but I don't know if there was contact made between these two or not. McCoy doing a great job of taking away Majorek's line, not allowing him to get the momentum he needs to complete a pass, even if he gets alongside of him. Three-car battle for the 4th position. Eric Sadler just completed the pass around David Dixon, and Aubrey Powell has entered into this conversation. Aubrey Powell with a victory at Phoenix, and this is a low banking racetrack, kind of similar to the corners of what you would experience at a track like Phoenix, so no surprise to see Aubrey doing well. Holding down that 6th position, Bryce Egan right now in 7th. I believe we're going to see Bryce behind the wheel of this 11 car for a couple more races here in Season 2. As a matter of fact, looking at the driver's list here, yeah, Bryce is actually going to be behind the wheel of the car next week at Chicago Motor Speedway. We'll also see him at Kentucky as we've got pit stops here. Egan will also be doing the driving duties at Watkins Glen and during the playoffs at Daytona. I mentioned about the fact that these drivers potentially could not make it on fuel. Roberto Crown Jr. is in. Wes McCoy pitted from the 2nd spot, so he is one of the first of the leaders to come down pit road. And Galligan is in this time. This is a little past the halfway point, so these drivers should be able to make it the rest of the way. This says to me that these drivers might have been very close on fuel, and so they're coming down, splitting this race almost in half to be able to make sure they have fresh tires for this final run to the checkers. Little slow there on the Galligan pit stop, it looked like. We'll see how that translates to where he cycles around. I believe he is still the race leader. I don't know if anybody else stayed out for an extra lap or not. Does not appear so. This is really going to spread the field out, though, as well. We had little intermittent battles. We'll have to see how quickly those close up, especially inside of the top 5, top 10. Cam Wright Jr. stayed out an extra lap, and now he'll head back out into the track. He may actually gain quite a bit of track position with this call of going the extra lap. We'll keep an eye on that. Majorek was able to leapfrog Wes McCoy for what I believe is eventually going to be second. And at the moment, he'll have clean racetrack between himself and Sean Galligan, who's now is going to have to deal with Chris Dollerton, who has just come back out onto the racing surface after his pit stop. Chris Dollerton and Jackson Haywood going to be right ahead of the leader, and here comes the 70 car with fresh tires and with momentum. So this will be the battle for the race lead here as we approach 50 laps completed. We're about 2/3 of the way through. Here's Majorek looking low. Galligan drifts way up the racetrack. Oh, that is super high, and he's gonna not hit the wall, but he almost did. Majorek will now complete the pass on Jackson Haywood, or will he? Jackson gonna battle back on the top. He may have overdrove 1 and 2. And Majorek will complete that pass, so Cody Majorek will go to the lead. Sean Galligan drifts back to second. Third place is going to be Wes McCoy. Fourth place is going to be, I believe, Eric Sadler. And Aubrey Powell is going to complete the top 5. Sixth place will find Cam Wright Jr. with his teammate David Dixon in 7th. How about the strategy call for the points leader? Went the extra lap and was able to cycle into the top 10. This is a driver that started shotgun on the field. And this has been a Cam Wright Jr. signature, it seems. He's been a very good qualifier, but in the races that he doesn't qualify well, he still finds a way to get himself up to the front. He's got the most top 10s this season with 8. He's got the most top 5s this season with 6. And of course, is a 2-time winner. He did lose the 6th position to his teammate David Dixon, but he'll slot still inside of the top 10. Michael Turner with a great run here tonight in the 8th position. We mentioned about the fact that he is a former winner, but right now not in a wild card spot. He's running solidly inside of the top 10. Then Brody Kupski currently is 9th with Roberto Crown Jr. in 10th. So Roberto Crown Jr. started on the pole. He's had a great night, been in the top 10 pretty much the entire evening. The bad news for him is the advantage he had when we had the green flag drop to start this race is gone, with now Cam Wright Jr. up ahead. Instead of being points ahead, Roberto Crown Jr., according to the live running order, would find himself 5 points, now make it 4 points if he completes his pass on Kupski. 4 points behind Cam Wright Jr. for the overall points lead. Is nearly contact right there between Michael Turner and Cam Wright Jr. as Turner will complete the pass and move Cam Wright Jr. from 7th back to 8th. So now there's only one position, I believe, between Roberto Crown Jr. and Cam Wright Jr. on the racetrack. Aubrey Powell under fire from David Dixon. This is for 5th. And Powell will hang on to the spot at least for the time being. Galligan trying to close back up on Cody Majorek, but Majorek is gone. He has been able to put Jackson Haywood in the rearview mirror. Chris Dollerton has gone a lap down. And now, Kyle Langland is next on the hit list. Remember when we saw the battle for the lead earlier on between Wes McCoy and Sean Galligan? Cody Majorek had worked his way up to 3rd and looked like he was closing up. Caution is out. And this is going to change up everything. Yellow flag is waving. Nathan Stapleton just went a lap down. He's going to try and battle it back here to the start-finish line to stay on the tail end of the lead lap, but I don't think he'll be able to do it. He's going to stay a lap down. Autumn Brooks is going to catch a break, as she will be the last car on the lead lap, with caution coming out on lap 53. First caution of the evening. And now the question is, who was it? Looking for some skid marks. Oh, there's some skid marks there off of turn 4. And there is some damage on the, looked like on the left side of the 89 of Jordan Anderson. Also some right side damage. He might have been one of the cars involved in what brought out the yellow. Let's go back and take a look. He was not directly involved. He was actually behind it. It actually was our second place driver at the time, Sean Galligan, getting help from the lap car of Craig Batson. They're going to hook bumpers right here. Galligan going to go around. Daniel Voiles. Oh, Wes McCoy involved. And then I believe Jordan Anderson actually went up and hit the outside wall. Eric Sadler makes a pass on Galligan before they get to the stripe. That was for, I believe, third place. Galligan crossed the line in fourth. Now the question is going to be, how much damage did both Galligan and Wes McCoy get? Are they going to have to pit, lose all their track position, or will they just deal with the damage? Here's another look at it here. They just hooked and couldn't get off of each other. Voiles with a big hit into the outside wall. There's Wes McCoy, and then, I don't know if you'll see it here, but Jordan Anderson, there he is. You see him up into the wall. He went up and slapped the right side of his machine into the outside safer barrier, looking to avoid the wreck that was up ahead of him. Well, it looks like both Wes McCoy and Sean Galligan feel track position is too important to come down pit lane and get any type of damage repaired. They have stayed out. Nobody has come down pit lane, I do not believe, including Daniel Voiles and Craig Batson, who were also collected up in that as lap machines. So nobody come into pit road. They will deal with the damage that they have. We are going to have lap cars on the inside line here as well, since this restart will be with more than 10 laps remaining, which means that Nathan Stapleton, Kyle Langland, Chris Dollerton, Jackson Haywood, Skylar Taylor, Jordan Anderson, Daniel Voiles, Craig Batson, Ralph Mason, they will all be lined up on the bottom of the racetrack, which is going to make things very interesting for all of the lead lap cars, who will have to take the higher line around through 1 and 2. And we already know what a bit of a trouble spot turn 2 is if you end up running a little too high. So we managed to run the first 50 some odd laps completely green. We had a round of green flag pit stops in the middle of that as well. This caution may have opened up Pandora's box. We may not be done with yellows here tonight, but Cody Majorek gets ready to put us back under the green with Wes McCoy in second. Eric Sadler now third. Galligan, who was the start with the contact between him and Craig Batson, bringing out that yellow, he restarts fourth. And Aubrey Powell going to complete the top 5. Michael Turner, David Dixon, Cam Wright Jr., Roberto Crown Jr., Brody Kupski. That is going to be the top 10. Big opportunity for those lap machines to get around the race leader, Cody Majorek. Maybe hope for a quickie yellow to get themselves back on the tail end of the lead lap, as we have 20 of our 29 drivers currently on the lead lap. Green flag about to fly once again here at Iowa. Great launch for the leader, Cody Majorek. And he can take whatever lane he wants here through 1 and 2. Everybody else still relegated to the top because of the lap machines. Wes McCoy under fire. Whoa! Contact! Voiles nearly got turned off the nose of Chris Dollerton. That stacked up the entire inside line. Nathan Stapleton's going to get clear of all of this, albeit still a lap down. Battle here between the 8 and the 16 is for second place. And Wes McCoy is going to, I believe, get the momentum off of turn 2. He'll try and get alongside of Dollerton, but now inside line gets the run through 3 and 4. Sadler battles back alongside of Wes McCoy. Aubrey Powell right there. Michael Turner in the conversation. Sean Galligan drifting back a little bit. got to wonder about the damage that he had along with the aid of Wes McCoy. McCoy appears to be able to be just fine. He's continuing to fight. Galligan, I've been noticing his car looks a little slower on the straightaways. But he's trying to maintain his track position as he's got him wadded up behind him. 3 wide almost back there with David Dixon, Craig Batson, and Skylar Taylor. Galligan's actually going to get the wall off of turn 4. Continuing to stack up there. Dixon may have gotten in the back of Galligan. This is a battle for 6th up ahead. Still the battle on for 2nd place. Aubrey Powell to the inside of Eric Sadler. This all taking place almost 4 seconds behind the race leader, and Sadler will finally clear for the 2nd spot. Battle will be for 3rd between Aubrey Powell and Michael Turner, as Turner drives it in deep, and he will clear when they exit off of turn number 2. This is a battle for 21st. First car 1 lap down. Couple of Dark Horse Mustangs. Dollarton looking to complete the pass on Nathan Stapleton. 2nd place battle going on behind him as Turner now looks to the inside of Eric Sadler. This is not the battle for the race lead. The race leader is long gone. Cody Majorek has opened up, that's about 20-25 car lengths back to even the next car, which is the lap machine of Chris Dollarton. Scoring shows over 5 seconds the gap. Majorek with that launch on the restart, that was key. And that helped him clear the double wide traffic. He just had to worry about qualifying laps in a sense here. Though I don't think he wants to use up his stuff too much, because this time around we're still going to have 11 laps to go. So just manage the gap if you're Cody Majorek. I also feel like if you're Majorek, you don't want to see another flag in that flag stand unless it's the white, because this is a beautiful scenario, having this big of a gap back to your nearest competitor for position, which right now scoring shows is over 5.5 seconds back. So as Majorek continues to pull away, we'll drop back here to the battle for 2nd place. Sadler has it. Turner wants it. Aubrey Powell waiting in the wings in that 4th position. Then a couple more lap cars till you get to Wes McCoy. A couple more lap cars before you get to David Dixon. Turner up the track. And caution is out. Caution is out. Last thing that Cody Majorek wanted to see. Yellow flag and a wave, and this time we're going to get single file restarts because it will be with less than 10 to go. Leader just hit 10 laps remaining when they came to the stripe, and looks like turn 2 may have claimed its first victim of the night. I see some skid marks there off the 2nd corner. Somebody got down and into the inside wall. We'll try and see if we can pinpoint exactly who that was. Potentially might have been one of our drivers that came into this race in a wild card position. That would be the 19 of Juan Garcia, former winner this season from Charlotte. 3 wide off of turn 2. Cat Batson into the left rear quarter panel of the 19. Cat's actually the one that hits the inside wall. Dave Smith, another former winner on the season, collected up in that also. Not super significant contact, it didn't really look like, but enough to bring out the yellow. And that'll be our 2nd caution of the evening here from Iowa, setting us up for what's going to be a shootout with less than 10 laps to go. If I had to make an educated guess, I'd say we'd go back green probably with about 7 laps remaining, somewhere in that vicinity. Now the good news for Cody Majorek is he's going to have at least 2 lap machines between himself and Eric Sadler for this upcoming restart. The bad news is it's not the 5.5-6 second gap that he had prior to the yellow flying. So we'll see what Eric Sadler is able to do. Those are a couple of Fords up ahead of him in Dollarton and Stapleton. So I don't know if there'd be a manufacturer understanding of the 40 and the 97, letting the 16, even the 02 of Turner on by to try and get the Blue Ovals a victory here at Iowa, allowed them to battle with the Chevrolet. Got to remember, though, too, Dollarton, Stapleton, a couple of drivers that are both up there in the conversation, potentially to point their way into the playoffs. Dollarton is 12th in points, Stapleton 14th in points. May not seem like much, but those two are battling for first car one lap down, 21st place. 21st pays out more points than 22nd, so they may say, well, manufacturer alliance is out the window, doesn't matter, you guys got to get around us because we're going to battle for this spot, which could be very important when we get to the end of the regular season as to maybe that 1 point of transferring in or just being on the outside. Well, it's not going to be a 7-lap shootout. We would have gone green that time by, so it looks like it'll be a 6-lap shootout to decide this thing. It will be single file restart since it is less than 10 to go. We'll give you a rundown of the top 10 here for what looks like it's going to be the final restart of the night. Majoric will be the leader. Eric Sadler will be second. Michael Turner third. Aubrey Powell fourth. And Wes McCoy will complete the top 5. Granted, there are going to be lap machines in between most of these drivers, so they are not starting nose to tail with each other. David Dixon will restart in 6th, Sean Galligan in 7th. 8th place, Colin Grace, 1 week removed from his first career win. Brody Kupski in 9th, and Roberto Crown Jr. is going to complete the top 10, 1 positions ahead of Cam Wright Jr., who will restart in 11th place. 6 laps to go here from Iowa. Majoric looking for another good launch. Looks like he will get it. Eric Sadler immediately goes to work on Nathan Stapleton. Try to clear the lap cars to get up there and battle with Cody Majoric. Chris Dollarton looks like he has a pretty good machine. If he can get up there and move the 70 out of the groove, that could help Eric Sadler. It was not yet clear on Stapleton. Now he'll clear him as Stapleton a little wide there off of turn 4. Turner on the back bumper of Sadler for second place. Do they have enough time to get up here and battle Majoric for the race win? Now if you're Majoric, you're setting qualifying laps. You're trying to tick away every single one of these circuits as quickly as you can to get to the white. Majoric 16th in points coming into this one. If I could do the quick math here in my head, I believe he is 23 points below, 33 points below the 7th in the standings cut line. I don't know if he'll move up into the top 7 if he wins this race this evening, but he certainly will be up there in the conversation for a wild card spot. Joanna Atwood Motorsports fielding 2 cars this season. They've already seen Jordan Anderson go to victory lane earlier on this year at I-69 Speedway, looking for the sweep for their respective lights cars. Majoric looking for his first career win. Michael Turner completed the pass around Eric Sadler to move into second, but he's got half a straightaway to make up, and not enough time, I don't think, to be able to close up the gap. Dollarton putting pressure on Majoric. He'd like to finish this race at least on the tail end of the lead lap as they'll see 2 to go. If I'm Majoric, I'm letting the 40 car on by. If he's pressuring me that much, you've got enough gap to work with. But Majoric will hold serve out in front of him. As Dollarton's going to look low into 3 and 4. Majoric will hang on. He'll actually have a nice center of 3 and 4 pull away from Dollarton, and this time by, he'll see the flag he's been waiting to see for quite a while. White flag displayed over the Ford Travel Motor Coach Chevrolet Camaro. The Johanna Long throwback. Looks like it's going to be finding victory lane here tonight at Iowa. Well, James Qualls, team owner, is the defending Cup Series winner at this venue, and he will be the defending team owner on the light side that will be picking up the victory here tonight, courtesy of Cody Majorek, his first career win. He gets it here this evening at the Iowa Speedway. Michael Turner going to bring it home in second. Eric Sadler, second start in Lite Series and second career top 5 as he will complete the podium. Majorek started mid-pack. He had undoubtedly one of the best long-run cars of the night. Worked his way up to third. Eventually, after green flag pit stops, was up to second, was able to take the lead from Sean Galligan, and nobody was able to challenge him after that. Had a great car in traffic, was able to deal with lap machines very well, and was stellar on restarts as well. Check all the boxes for Cody Majorek here tonight to pick up his first win of his career and potentially make some future plans for the postseason and the playoffs. Standings are official. Here's a look at where everybody ended up bringing it home. We gave you your top 3. Aubrey Powell will finish in 4th. How about Sean Galligan and Wes McCoy? Galligan got spun by the lap machine of Craig Batson while running in 2nd. He fell back to 3rd. Neither of those drivers, Galligan nor McCoy, came to pit road to repair damage. They soldiered on and finished in 5th and 9th. So good job by both of those drivers, realizing track position was too important to come down pit road and repair any kind of damage. Colin Grace, great momentum for Colin after picking up that win last week at Hillside. Follows it up with a top 10 run, 6th here at Iowa. Roberto Crown Jr. going to bring it home in 7th place. Cam Wright Jr., great comeback after starting out back at 29th to finish in 12th. However, there will be an exchange for the points lead, with Roberto Crown Jr. finishing 5 spots ahead of Cam Wright Jr. He is going to have a 3-point lead, will Roberto, heading into next week at the Chicago Motor Speedway. David Dixon, great run in 8th. Wes McCoy, we already documented, 9th. And Eli Bright, good run for Eli. Remember, he and Jackson Haywood came into this race tied for the 7th position in points. This should move Eli Bright comfortably up into the top 7 into a points-paying playoff spot. Brody Kupski will finish just behind him in 11th. We mentioned Cam Wright Jr. 12th. Mike Tellier, Autumn Brooks. We didn't talk about either of those drivers much here tonight. 13th and 14th. Autumn ended up actually getting saved as the last car on the lead lap when that first caution came out. And Bryce Egan, his first career start here in the Lite Series, will net him a 15th place finish. Dave Smith, Cole Koibe, Juan Garcia, Nathan Fogler, and Kat Batson, they were the 20 drivers finish on the lead lap. Rest of these drivers finished -1. Dollerton, Craig Batson, Nathan Stapleton, Ralph Mason, Skylar Taylor, Daniel Voiles, Kyle Langland, Jordan Anderson, and Jackson Haywood. 3 drivers are going to take some pretty big hits in the point standings. Skylar Taylor will continue his free fall. Jordan Anderson, who came into this race 3rd in points, this is going to hurt him as he had quite a number of drivers just behind him in the point standings that finished very well. And Jackson Haywood, he was that tie driver with Eli Bright for the 7th position in the standings, and dead last is going to drop him out of the top 7 in points. We'll have to see how far behind the cut line he'll be when we get to Chicago Motor Speedway next week. But now 14 races in the books, and 13 different drivers have gone to victory lane as Cody Majorek adds his name to that list. We'll have to see if this will be enough for him to be able to clinch a spot in the playoffs, but congratulations to Majorek on his first career win in the Duracell Ultra Lite Series. Hope you guys enjoyed this race here from Iowa. If you did, be sure to give it a like, subscribe, part of the crew today. We've shown you full video results, and these are your point standings heading into next week. And if you enjoyed this race, hey, join us here tomorrow afternoon, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, for our 3rd time visiting Iowa for the Duracell Next Gen Cup Series. Cannot wait to see what happens in that one as we continue our push towards the playoffs on the Cup side. But until then, or until next week, whenever you join us, I've been Seth Cole, and you've been watching another broadcast courtesy of NNSCRA TV, Offline Racing at its best.
following has been a presentation of NNSCRA TV for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this telecast or any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the consent of the NNSCRA is prohibited. NNSCRA would like to thank all of our loyal fans, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast.